Hello and welcome to another episode of Between the Covers. Thank you so much for joining. If you are watching live or if you're watching on the replay, please do say hello. Let us know where you're watching from. Of course, this is a very interactive show, so please get ready to throw up your questions for my lovely guests. So if you're watching for the first time and wondering who is this, my name is Daniela Bleckner. I am an author, book journey mentor, founder of a company called Conscious Dreams Publishing. In my name card, I normally have founder of Conscious Dreams Publishing. I have changed it today to award-winning self-publishing expert. I've had a very, very interesting, successful week so far, in which I was called an award-winning self-publishing expert. So I am playing with this title, Time for Change. But what is this show all about? This show is all about getting up close and personal with authors, people within the writing and publishing industry, to find out what goes on between the covers of writing, creating, publishing, promoting, marketing a book. So before I introduce my awesome and amazing guest, I'm going to just give you a bit of a rundown of the week so far. I mean, we're only on Tuesday. Yesterday, I had a very successful meeting with a company called Ingram Spark. For those of you who don't know the company Ingram Spark is a major distribution platform that most indie publishers and traditional publishers use. It's the daughter company or the son company of Ingram's Content Group, which is the main distribution platform that, you know, the big publishing houses use. I've been using this platform for about 11 years. I know it like the back of my hand. I think it's first started in 2013. So I'm one of the early users, and they asked me to come in for a meeting to discuss a strategic partnership. I hadn't realized because every single author I work with has their own account. We don't act as a middle person. We are a company in the sense that we offer publishing services, but the author is empowered throughout that whole journey, and they have the complete rights to their book. So therefore they have their own account with the distribution platform. However, they managed to pull some data and realize that we have over 165 accounts. I've set up over 165 accounts. And that's just the people who've published with us, not the people that I've mentored through the process. And over that period of time, they hit me with some figures. Let me just show you this. We have published, sold over 20,000 copies sold in the past 4 years. I'd love to see what that data is for the past 11 years that we've been with them. And they've called me an award-winning self-publishing specialist. So I'm going to be toying with that title. And we've supported over 160 Ingram Spark clients. Now, a lot of people may not realize that there is stats out there saying that the average self-published author sells about 250 books in a lifetime. Now, when I was in the meeting yesterday, they hit me with some figures, and they showed me that the top 4 selling titles at the moment. So the first one was My Afro, who has sold a whopping 1,496 copies. That was written by a 7-year-old girl called Tiana Akko-Ari, who I worked with a few years ago. Absolutely amazing. Followed by 4 other books that you can see the numbers are way over 250. So if you are an author or if you are thinking about self-publishing, it is more than doable with the right know-how to sell a great number of books. And again, you can see on average, Conscious Dreams has sold over between 4,000 and 5,000 books per year with our authors that we have got signed up to Ingram Spark. So I wanted to share some of that detail and get up close and behind it, because this is data and information a lot of people aren't familiar with what goes on behind the scenes. So it's not just about writing or publishing the book, it's everything else that goes with it, the sales, the data, the making sure it's discoverable. So all of these things are things that I want to start sharing with you more and more. So if you are watching, please get ready to meet our awesome and amazing guest. What I forgot to say to you is you can support this show. This is completely self-funded. So you can support me by sending stars. Stars help me earn money so I can create more content and also do more community workshops with young people in schools and online storytelling sessions, which is something that's really, really close to my heart. So without any further ado, I have been working with this awesome and amazing woman. I think she'll let you know at the end of the year we started. She is the author of The Adventures of Nandy, a beautifully illustrated book. So I'm going to introduce you to Alice Hatari. She is a mother of 3, born in Uganda and now lives in England with her husband and children. Always wanted to go to Uganda. I've been to Tanzania, I've been to Kenya, but I haven't been to Uganda, so that's my next place. She's also a teaching assistant in a primary school, so she's in the right place. She's already in front of her audience and loves reading, singing, and writing in her free time. Whilst raising her children, Alice struggled to find a variety of books that represented different cultures, including her own. She wanted to share her African heritage with her children, stories of her magical childhood and her adventures as she had growing up in Uganda. So let's meet the awesome and amazing Alice to find out more about her book, which was released on the 31st, The Adventures of Nandy. Hello, how are you doing, Alice?
Hi, Dolly. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. So your book was released on the 29th of May, so not even a week old yet, but it's been on pre-order for a
Yeah,
while. How does it feel
that's
now to
good.
have this book in your hands?
Oh my goodness. Exciting, a dream come true. Very exciting and can't wait to see what comes out of it. It's actually surreal. It's a very amazing book. I'm biased, but it is an amazing read. It
Well, but
really is.
tell us what's it about? What's the book about?
Basically, it's about my childhood growing up in Uganda. The fun and adventures that we had. It was a great adventure growing up in the town of Bukoto, Kamocha, those who are in Uganda. Um, we had an amazing time just playing, exploring our neighborhood and all the adventures that we had.
Amazing. Well, so how when did you move here? Just out of interest, because you were talking about a lot about your childhood. Did you move when you were a child?
Over 20 years now. I think it was 2002. So I've lived here for over 20 years now.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
fantastic. So, what then inspired you to write The Adventures of Nandy? Then,
Um, like you said in my blurb, I have when I was raising my children, I did struggle to find a few books that shared my culture and my heritage, and I didn't want my children growing up obviously without seeing themselves in those books. And so it's different now, and things have changed. A lot of it's inclusive in society now, but that was my main inspiration, really, to share my adventures whilst growing up with my children
beautiful,
and
and I
to
think
them.
you are definitely part of the change. I mean, like we've said many times before, growing up in the 80s, 70s, or whatever, growing up, I didn't see any pictures of, children who look like me, yet alone authors. So a lot is changing. A lot still needs to change, and it's great that you are part of this change. Tell us a little bit. So I'm just going to acknowledge some people. George says, amazing. Hey there, George. Oh, George. Remember you. And Zuku says, that's lovely. The gamer, hey. So tell me a little bit about your childhood then, and how is it Bukoto? Have I pronounced that correctly?
Bukoto.
Bukoto.
Yeah.
And how it influenced your character of Nandy.
Um, it was a very humble childhood. I mean, like I said, we didn't have much. Mom was a teacher, dad a businessman. We lived in a very, very tiny home with nothing much to live on, but yet very happy. And as a child, you don't, you have nothing to compare it to. You don't know any different. And until you grow up, and then maybe like for me, moved to England, then you have something to compare it to. But when you're a child surrounded by a loving mom and a loving dad, that's all you need. And we didn't even have much toys or, you know, gadgets like the children have today. It was just outdoor play, outdoor exploring, and
Mm.
adventure after adventure. Like the fruits are just readily available. We didn't have to go to the market to buy fruit. So it was just, yeah, very, very interesting.
I love that. I mean, the contrast of some children growing up without that kind of loving stability in the home. So they may be surrounded by tons and tons of gadgets, but that love and that feeling of safety isn't there.
Yeah.
And also, I've noticed a huge. I mean, when I was young, I mean, I wasn't even allowed out to be honest. But I mean, when I was out, when I was young, when I was allowed out,
Yeah.
it was playing out. Like you said, you were more inventive with games and making things and more resourceful. Do you think that there's something missing here then, maybe in the UK, or maybe it's to do with, you know, the era that we're in terms of time and technology? Do you think things have changed in terms of like that humbleness in play when it comes to play? I hope this
Oh,
makes sense.
yes. That's changed a lot because we, well, it's different because here we have different seasons as well. You know, you have the winter where children are a lot more indoors, whereas in Uganda it's forever hot. Like you just out every day, unless it's even in the rain, you still played in the rain. Use the most of whatever you had to play. Things are changed, things are different, and I think I do believe that children do miss out a lot because there's lots, you know, we've got a lot of gaming and
Mm.
a lot of screen time, like which we didn't have. If you do read my book, like we didn't have a TV till later on because we couldn't just afford one then. Things, but now every home owns a TV. Uh, so things are a lot different, and you find that the creativity of the children is a lot different
Mm.
compared to where you have to use your imagination, role play, and just being creative and using whatever you have available, basically.
Thank you. So if you're a young person and you feel like you're spending a little bit too much time on your gadget, maybe you're on your gadgets, 10 different gadgets right now, maybe spend an evening, put down the gadgets, think about, you know, what fun and exciting games you can create from what you have in your home, um, or, you know, outside. What was your favorite game to play then, if you remember growing up?
Probably hide and seek.
Hide and seek.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hide
good
and
one.
seek. Yeah, had loads of hiding places and very, very difficult to find me.
Uh,
Yeah,
so we should have a big game of adult hide and seek. Actually, it
yeah,
gets to an age sometimes where you stop playing. I think play should be something that should go on forever. Um,
yeah.
Representation is a really important theme in your work, like you said. So, what do you hope the children of all backgrounds will take away from seeing a character like Nandy?
I believe they get to see that you can actually love who you are. You love yourself the way you are, and there's different people, different cultures, a different upbringing. It doesn't matter where you come from. The most important thing is that we're all human beings on this planet, getting along, living the life, and just embrace it and just be happy.
Yeah, perfect. Love that message. Perfect message.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the writing process. So, how long did it take you to write? Was it easy to write? Difficult to write? What did that look like and feel like?
I think the writing wasn't tricky or hard. It was easy, I think, because it's my life. It's my memory. I didn't have to be creative or to think about my character. It's about my story. So that wasn't very tricky because I think I got inspired mainly last year. It was World Book Day, and I came home. I remember telling my husband, "I'm gonna write a book." And he said, actually, that's not a bad idea. And I said, I'm going to write about my book, my childhood, rather, my upbringing in Uganda. He said, that's a great idea. And I just started on my phone. I can't remember how long it took me. I just remember it wasn't too long before I just had the book ready because it was just flowing because it's my life. The tricky bit was how do I get uh, this idea that I've got, this information into a book that
Mm.
actually comes to life. So how do I get what I've written into a picture book to be illustrated into a book that people can actually read? That was
Yeah,
the tricky thing.
that
Yeah.
was the next step, right? And I think obviously because you work with young people as well, is it in primary school you're in, I think?
I am in a primary
You're,
school.
yeah, you're around children. A lot of people do struggle to write for children. So
Exactly.
Ayana's saying that's so positive. Julius is saying rooting for you, Alice. Sandra's saying amazing, brilliant. So let's then talk about the next step. So you'd written this manuscript. You came through
Yeah.
to us through Nasifo and Albert. So if you're irregular to watching the show, Sarah Keto is the 12-year-old five-time author who has another
Yeah.
book coming out soon. So they told me about you. But
Yeah.
talk a little bit about, the process of when you had this book. And I know you work with Bryony, working through all of these illustrations. I mean, that's such. I wish I could draw, but
Oh no,
how,
she's
how was
so
that
small.
process? I wanted to get her on maybe next time, but to talk through that process for people who just have no idea what how it all works.
Basically, Z and I used to go to church in Croydon, but funny enough, I hadn't spoken to her in years because obviously I live very far away from her, and we haven't seen each other. But we went to a party, and I saw her again. I took her number, and I remember starting talking about, oh, my daughter, she's an author. She's written 4 books. This 12-year-old, I was so amazed. I'm like, wow, at 12 and she's already written 4 books.
No.
And so, but that was way before I thought of writing my book. So when I wrote my book, I remembered, oh yes, Z said she does know an illustrator. She'll probably be able to forward that number. So I remember her forwarding. She was so excited. She
Oh,
passed me.
she's
She
on
passed
now.
the number. Yes. She passed on your number. And I remember, I think she gave you your personal number because she was so excited. Yeah, this is my publisher. You can contact her. She'll give you all the details. So I got your number, and I remember you passed me on to your company number and said, yeah, you can book a consultation. And yeah, we took it from there. Uh, Went on your website. I chose the illustrator, obviously, that I ended up working with. The amazing Bryony, very talented,
Right.
very talented, gifted. She's done amazing, amazing, amazing job.
She's done
Very proud.
brilliantly. And how did you sort of go around deciding, that process of, the colors that you wanted, the characters, what they look like, what was happening in each image? How was that process then for you working with Bryony?
Well, that was amazing. We did meet over a Zoom meeting where it was character Nandy, what I wanted her to look like, her skin complexion. And I did mention that I wanted, because it's hot in Uganda, I wanted, a bit of a summer feeling, clothes, bright colors. And it was amazing. Basically, each page that we would do, she would send me a sketch of what she was thinking. But some of the pages, like I had an idea already, so I'll tell her, oh, okay, on this scene, could you maybe let mom sit down on a chair or a stool, or on this page, let's have Nandi maybe dressed very pretty because it's like maybe a Sunday because we're going to church. I need her to look amazing. I need her to have a specific hairstyle. And so she would send me the sketch of that. And if I needed it, and we needed to tweak it a little bit, then she would tweak it. And before she put any colors to it, and then she would ask me how what I would think about it. I was thinking about it rather, and then she would send me the complete picture, and then we'll give it a go ahead. We're like, yep, that's done. And all this was back and forth emails.
Yeah, and they're absolutely brilliant. So I was looking at the emails, and I've seen Bryony work, and completely happy with you two just cracking on. But
Very
when I did take
amazing.
a peek, it was, I mean, look at the lovely, all the tones are like really lovely earthy tones. And then you've got the bright colours of the clothing as well. It's just absolutely, look at this, absolutely gorgeous. And I think it really makes the book. You've got some questions here. Z saying Danny and team are best. You are in good hands. Oh, bless you. I can't wait for us all to meet up. We need to have a children's event. So Nzuku the I never know if I'm saying this right. Nzuku the gamer. Are you one of my authors? I think I know who you are. Let me know. I think I know. She's asking, or they're asking, how did it feel to see your book all done?
Oh my good. It was like a dream country. I actually kept checking on it every day to make sure it's actually real. Because when you dream of something and you're like, maybe it won't happen, or am I in a dream? Please, somebody pinch me and wake me up. That's how it felt like.
Amazing. And you've got your ready-made audience, or you work in a primary school, your children there. Have they?
I
I
did.
thought it was you, Deanna. Hi, Esme's mom, because I know there's Demon Slayer and Nzuku. Yes, okay. I got it. Sorry. How did they receive the book? Have they seen the book?
Oh my God, they were so excited. My particular class, I couldn't calm them down. I couldn't even read the book. I took a copy to school to read it. I couldn't read it. They actually could not believe that I'm an author, so they were like, but it's not real. And when I told them before I brought in the copy, I said to them, I've written a book and I'll bring it in. So one of the children said to me, it's not real, is it? Because it's Mrs. Hatari. She can't be the author. I said it's actually real and I'll bring in a copy. So they didn't believe it until they actually saw my name written on the book. And they said, wow, it's actually you. I said, we now know your name because they don't call me by my first
Yeah.
name. They said, you're Alice. My mom is one of them. Mom is called Alice. So they were so excited. They can't wait to buy it. Three of them, I think, have already ordered a copy. And so we're yet to promote for the rest of them to buy them.
This is so brilliant to hear, and it's so lovely when you see, young people are your audience. They're seeing the book and
I
they
know.
see your name, and it becomes real. Well, it is real, but it makes them feel like, oh, if Miss Hatari can do it, maybe I can do it when I'm a bit
Yeah.
older. It's not something that's so far away
No.
for them. So this is why this is so beautiful. Colin is saying, love the idea of the book. I can't believe that this captures the childhood that seems so long ago. Are you relatives? Are you brother and
Yes,
sister?
I believe so. Yes, my brother-in-law. Hi, Colin.
Oh, see, this is a beautiful for children as for adults as well. We're so proud of you. He says, Z says, having the copy of your book in the hand for the first time is the greatest feeling. So proud of you, Alice. Well done. Lovely.
Thank you. Thank
So
you.
that brings me around to, do you have a favorite part in the book, and would you like to share with the audience?
I do.
Okay, so I'm going to take myself out and let you go ahead and read to your audience.
It's just one page. Oh, my favorite part of the page. Don't know if you can see me. Um, that's the scene of when we have having dinner outside, and it does say tonight we have no electricity, which is very common in Uganda. There's a power cut, and every other night, and we have to use lamps. The fun part of it all is that we get to have supper outside under the moonlight. It is so beautiful and special. You can see the stars and the moon and the big bright sun, sunshine. For supper, Mama has made my favorite food, which is chapati, fried pork. It is so yummy. And you can see the beautiful colors um, over there. It's amazing. You've done a brilliant job. And there's also another favorite page, which is my first page. Um, that one there. It says a long, long time ago in the land of Uganda, in the capital city of Kampala, in the town of Bukoto, there lived a little girl called Nandy, and this is her story. I love it.
Hey, brilliant. Get your copies. You can get signed copies from the Conscious Dreams bookshop. I can put the link in there, but the link should be in the post. It's also available at all retailers, Amazon, Waterstones, Barnes and Noble, wherever you are in the world, you can access it. Fantastic book. One of the things that really shines through in the book is like the magic of community. Lisa's very nice, lovely. Sorry, let me read this. Brilliant. Z says, we're booking you in for story time at A to Z the childcare. Now I want to read the whole book. Yay. Well, I've got two questions now, I guess. The sense, talk to me a bit about like the sense of community growing up, because I think that's something that really shone through in the book.
Yeah. It was amazing. Like the neighbors, it was like one having one big family in the same space. Our neighbors, like we were in each other's houses every like almost all day, every day. We had like we all went to the same primary school in the end. Like one car would take all of us to school, and
Oh,
it's yeah, it's basically like my neighbors had this big car where we would all jump in, like about maybe seven of us, just
oh wow.
jump into the car and just go to school together. And same thing as coming back home, we would all just jump in, take a ride, and just get home. The church community was great. Like the whole street, down the street, the whole neighborhood, we had Bible studies where weekly Bible study, we would just go in and just where just share community, and the neighbors were looking out for whose child, if you're on the street, if you've done something, they would know exactly where you live and they'll just go tell your mom or your dad if you're being
Yeah.
cheeky or naughty or out of hand. You'll be disciplined by the neighbors as well. They'll tell you off. They'll tell you off just exactly the same way your parents would. It was just amazing. Great big family, and we're still friends today.
That's wonderful. That is the true epitome of like it takes a village to raise a child. We're not supposed to be
Really.
nuclear families or fragmented families. The whole community is meant to be the family, and that's something I lived in Tanzania for those of you who don't know, East Africa for a year. I was only supposed to be there for 6 months. I ended up staying there for. I absolutely loved it, and it was one of the things that I felt for the first proper time that living in a community where everyone was family and everyone looked out for each other. Absolutely wonderful. Here's some more comments. LinkedIn user is saying fabulous achievement, well done. La Di Da is saying amazing, congratulations Alice, a great name. I know now a real author and have the absolute pleasure of teaching with you. Wow, fantastic. Ken Ereza is saying can't believe we're all
That's
seated.
my mom.
That's your mom. Oh, she's
Hi,
so.
mom.
Hi, mom. We can't believe we're all seated watching the show. This is Mom, Naomi, Nehemiah, Alan, and we're all watching and we're excited. How lovely! Isn't that beautiful? So, Alex, what are your next steps with your book? What are you planning? What are you thinking about doing next?
I basically, sorry, plan to write 4 series. So the Adventures of Nandy, when you read it, you'll see to look out for. The next one is when Nandy goes to the village, which is a very other special place in my heart, like one of the best uh favorite places in this world, and that I hold very dear to my heart. So
Oh,
that is a special one. My grandma still alive and well. So I hope to make her proud. Hope to see her read that book someday.
oh.
Yeah.
you could start doing like book tours in Uganda, or even take children to like a trip to Uganda, and they visit all the places that Nandy visit.
One day, absolutely. That's that's the dream.
So we'll keep my chair's sinking. Sorry, we'll keep that going down. I'll keep you up to date with what Nandy, sorry, what Alice is doing. Obviously, you're following Conscious Dreams Publishing. We'll let you know if she's having any launches or signings. Alice, how can people get in touch with you?
I'm available on Instagram and Facebook. All those platforms. You can reach me on there.
Right. One thing we do want to do, actually, because Alice is quite new to social media, but as I said in the beginning, there's one thing writing a book and one thing publishing a book. It's really about now promotion, getting that engagement, and really, really sharing and helping. So I'm going to throw up Alice's Instagram handle, which I know you're giving me. Please, not when the interview's done, please go over there and follow her, share her profile with other people, because we really want her, to grow and let more people know about this book. So it's Alice
Hatari.
What's your Instagram handle? I'll look it up for you quickly. It is Alice, author, Alice Hatari. Okay. So you can follow Alice here, author_Alice Hatari on Instagram and on Facebook as well, Alice Hatari. Question, Ladidar is asking, will you be visiting schools to share your book and talk to children about your journey? I would definitely book you in.
I would do. It's a bit tricky because at the moment I work in a school myself, and those are the same hours that every school has. So it's a bit tricky to ask for time off work, but absolutely in the near future I will do. I don't know how that is going to work out, but that's
if Alice's boss employer is watching right now, come on, this is a great cause. A few days off to go into schools. How many schools have authors, right? Few days off. You can do it. So Annika Chambers is asking, how difficult was it to get published? Did you self-publish? So yeah, I'll let you answer that.
No, I didn't. I did think about going the route of self-publishing, but the time to do it, and I wanted to give my book a really good chance. So I thought, you know what? I'm not very confident at what I'm doing, so I will look for the professionals, which is the cautious publishing, of course, to do the job. So I found somebody, and I paid them to do the job for me.
There you go. So she came to us. So our company is called Conscious Dreams Publishing. We offer publishing services to authors. We have illustrators, typesetters, editors, marketers, everyone under one roof. So it wasn't sort of DIY self-publishing in the sense that Alice was out there trying to source illustrators, and that can be a headache. It's self-publishing in the sense that obviously the publishing service were offered, but she didn't do it herself because that would just be way too much. A lot of people, there are very few people who want to learn the self-publishing process and do it themselves. But most people we work with are, no, we want to be the creative person. We've got this idea. We trust your team to help, to edit the book, to typeset it, to put it together. I don't even want to learn. It's a lot. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. We've loved working with you as well. I had a few more questions. I guess then we were talking about going into schools, and then obviously you work in a school, and obviously you're a mother as well. And how easy or difficult is it to balance all of these things that you're doing?
Right. Well, at the moment, my children are not little anymore, so which gives me a bit of freedom, to be honest, because they're all teenagers. My youngest is 11. If I think, I believe if they were much younger, it would be a lot trickier because juggling, having to do their homework, sit down and cook and come from work, clean the house and do everything else that, as a mother you have to do would be very tricky. But whereas they're a bit more independent, they still need, reminding to do a few things here and there, but most evenings I have to myself, sort of. So, yes, I found that free time. That's where I found time to do my reading, writing, and yes.
Perfect. So what Alice is trying to say is there are some more books coming very, very soon because she's good.
Yeah.
Alice, it's been absolutely amazing speaking with you. Last question is, what would you say to somebody who has a great idea for a book, a children's book, for example, and then they're wondering, maybe it's one of your children, and they're thinking, oh, is it good enough? Is anyone going to read it? Should I bother? Am I good enough? What would you say to them?
I'd say just step out in faith and just do it. Because all those ideas, all those fears I had, I was like, what if no one actually buys my book or reads it? What if it's boring or it's not good enough? What I had all these thousand questions in my mind, but once I said, you know what have I got to lose? I'm just gonna step out in faith and believe and just write it, give it a go, and see what happens. And with the amazing job that Bryony did, it's actually a professional, fabulous book. Get yourself a copy. It's an amazing book, and it's going to be great. From just step out in faith and just do it.
I love it. Thank you. Step out in fact. My chair's falling down again. Step out in faith and just do it. Absolutely wise words. Life's short. If you've got something on your heart, just go out and do it. And find the right support. I do want to say your lovely hubby's come on here with the last word saying, I better say my bit before you sign off. Phrase better half comes to mind. Oh, well done. Proud husband vibes. Brilliant interview. Love you. Oh, that's so lovely. Thank you, Danny, for your support. It's my absolute pleasure. It's been wonderful working with you. This is just a beginning. When we work with authors, we don't just say, right, we've finished publishing now, bye, you're part of our community. So any events going on, I'm going to keep you up to date with them. We're linked in, we're connected through social media. All of our authors, most of our authors are on social media as well. So it's just a great way to share and to help promote each other and to really encourage each other along this journey. So Janet's saying, well done. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. Join me next week. Well, actually, let me tell you quickly. Tomorrow, our author Rania, it's just a busy month, is launching her book I Can, You Can, a fantastic personal development book all about positive thinking and being mindful of the things you say to yourself. And then next week, I'm going to be interviewing the awesome and amazing Tina Miley, who is joining us all the way from America, online, of course. She's written a book called Soul of a Woman, a soul sister's guide to cultivating her beauty, power, and purpose, and has been endorsed by Robert Kiyosaki, who is the author of the Rich Dad, Poor Dad series, as well as a lot of other big names as well. So be the first time I'm meeting her. Join us 7 p.m. Thursday, 7 p.m. GMT, 2 p.m. EST. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. Here's one last. I don't want to leave this one off. Z's saying, amazing interview. We're all family at Conscious Dreams Publishing. Exactly. Welcome to the family, Alice. And you're welcome to call my personal number now anytime.
Thank you.
So everybody, thank you so much for joining. It's been amazing. See you next week, 7 p.m. GMT, 2 p.m. EST. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Alice, stay there.